Honestly, I wish I'd prepared more. I didn't prepare that much. I mean, I kind of got my call. I was like, yeah, I'm going on a mission, you know. But well, my bishop encouraged me a lot to preach my gospel a lot, read my scriptures, and I definitely wish I had dedicated a lot more time to preparing. But I didn't really do as much as I should have. I could definitely see how if I had prepared, it would have helped me out a lot. I mean, you never go into a mission being fully prepared. It's kind of impossible because only the mission can prepare you for the mission, right? But I definitely wish I had done more so that it hadn't been so much of a shock to me, or that I would have been a little more mentally prepared and spiritually prepared for what I was going to go into. I would have dedicated myself a lot more to preach my gospel. I mean, as a missionary, you use preach my gospel a ton, right? I mean, that's pretty much what you use, that and the scriptures. And I kind of just focus on the scriptures and not so much on preaching my gospel, because I didn't really know a ton about it. But if I could redo it, I would preach my gospel a lot more and try and kind of internalize the concepts. Not so much memorize, that's not really the point of it, but internalize the concepts and the ideas that it tries to get you to do. My Guatemala MTC experience was a little different than most because when I was there, it was right during the surge of the 18-year-old age change. I left right at 18. I graduated from high school less than 2 months later. I was on my mission. But it was the surge. I was one of the first 18-year-olds out. Plus, they were renovating the Guatemala MTC. So there's a whole floor where people would be living that wasn't available. Because it's just one building, right? It's not like a campus like the one here in Provo. So they had a whole floor that wasn't available, and they were over capacity anyway, so it was just packed. There were so many people there. So that, I mean, it makes it a little different than most people will have experience they'll have there. But I remember my first day when we flew in. We flew into Guatemala City. When we were landing, we were all turned around like, "Wow, this airport's crazy. There's holes in the walls outside the runway. Like you can just walk right into the airport and things like that." And I just remember thinking like, wow, where am I? This place is crazy. And then we get off the airport, get off the plane, go through customs, all that, which didn't take that long. We had to wait a while for baggage because they lost one of the sister's bags that was coming with us. But when we got out of customs and stuff, a sister was there to pick us up, and she got us onto this bus, okay? And all the big buses in Guatemala are decommissioned school buses from the U.S., right? But this one must have been decommissioned in like the 60s. I don't know what was going on. But it was super slow. I mean, it was old. All the seats were just made out of wood. They were like wooden benches. And we're going down the main roads of Guatemala City in this super slow old bus. It's scary. There's like holes in the floor. And when we get to the MTC, we drive up to it, and there's 3 lanes of traffic outside the MTC. And we have to, we wanted to back into the MTC, so the bus driver just stops and just turns left, like into the 2 lanes, and just puts us broadside into the traffic, like without even warning people, and just goes like that, and we block all the lanes of traffic just like all of a sudden, and we back into the MTC, and all the time I'm watching people like getting all mad at us. I'm like, what is going on? It was just that. I mean, the first day was fun doing that, and it was super tired because we flew overnight, so it was kind of a stressful, immersion all at once, right? But the rest of the time, the MTC was great. Super spiritual experience. Most people were sick. Your first time eating food from a different country. I mean, it's clean, but it's different foods. It comes from different places, and your stomach kind of has to adjust. So you get sick. The fact that there was a whole floor missing, people were more packed in, so a lot of people had colds. I don't know if that'll be much of an issue if they're not renovating it anymore. But you'll definitely get some digestion issues. That's for sure. It's a lot better having the MTC in the field because then you can kind of adjust. I remember we talk about the fruit juice as the jugo de muerte, the juice of death, because that's where you got all your diarrhea from. But the MTC is great. Tons of spiritual experiences. Sundays were fun. Get to watch movies and just have church. Just go to church, watch movies, have super spiritual experiences. It's not so much in like learning Spanish, just more trying to feel the Spirit. And during the week, you learn a ton of Spanish. I mean, I felt like we were in Spanish classes 12 hours a day. I mean, it might not have been that much, but I sure felt like it. I used to spend a lot of time learning Spanish because you're there for 6 weeks, so it's kind of just they try to make you learn as much as you can in the shortest time as possible. They do a pretty dang good job too. You get to have an hour of sports every day, which is really nice, kind of to get out and do stuff. And it's just a great experience. I felt the Spirit the whole time. I mean, at times I kind of just wanted to get out into the mission field. Let's go, because 6 weeks is kind of a long time to be in one building. But it was really nice to just have 6 weeks to just dedicate myself to learning and feeling the Spirit. And so, honestly, the MTC was amazing. I loved it.